We're recording to the cloud. Do you feel it? All right. Should we turn the video on?
I had it on. It's on. The video's on.
Oh, is that us?
Yeah, that's us.
That beautiful psychedelic pair of people in front of that infinite mural?
You want to pull up the
Yes.
poetry?
Okay to hold it on our knees like this, or do we want to put a balance on something else? We could bring that adorable table.
It's full of things.
Jonathan, do you think you could bring that adorable little table over here to put the laptop on? And just anything delicate can just be removed off of it. We have to really get all of the. Do you have any needs for your comfort? Does anyone need bathroom or any questions answered or anything like that? How is it temperature wise? Do we feel good? Do we need airflow? Are we happy here?
Sure, we could turn that up, down, you mean, just.
Yeah, cooler, it's hot.
It's hot, yeah, temp down a little bit because we burn calories with this work, you know?
I get really hot when I do this. Like when I lead these things, I will just start sweating. It's not from nerves, it's just the energy that moves really kind of generates. So yeah.
And that's good, like that means it's working. Which is not to say that it's not working if you don't feel hot. So just the whole point of this is for people to feel really comfortable, like so many other, you know, meditation practices or like community dialogue practices, like you walk in the room and it's like, if you haven't been there 100 times, you're like, oh, what's happening? This is awkward. You know, you don't know what the rules are. And we do not want anyone to have that experience. Future Ancestors is a co-creative process. This is an exploration that we've been exploring for a couple years. And the major belief is that all of humanity, all of life on this planet is each its own unique fiber that is meant to be braided together. So for Future Ancestors to ever really be complete as a project, everything, every living thing will have to contribute in some way in their own unique way. So it's a very inclusive, radically inclusive process. So if you're like, I am just not going to enjoy this if I don't have something to lean my back up against, move to a chair and bring it into the circle. You know, if you're viewing online and you're like, I have to get this done in 20 minutes, but I really have to pee. You know what? Just pause it, just go pee and then just come back to it. You know, like this is meant for you to just be comfortable and just let yourself feel your feelings, explore your thoughts together. Let's just see what we see. What do you think?
Yeah, beautifully said. I think to tie back into this being a collective experience. So with just a little bit about our backgrounds. So speaking for myself, I've had a spiritual practice for about 6 years. It's grown and evolved, and mediumship is the thing that I felt most called to. So communicating with people's deceased ancestors and bringing through messages. And it's such a beautiful experience for both myself. It's such a privilege to do that work and to help others connect with it. But it's something that all of us can do. So I'm trained as a medium, but there are practices that we can each participate in for us to bring in our ancestors, to communicate with them, to have conversation, to feel their blessings and their love. You don't need to go to a medium or any other specialist. You can create your own ritual. So this is us helping create a ritual that you can take home and do yourself. We can have this experience together because it's also, when I was training as a medium, when we would all, like 12 of us would be in class together, it was so powerful. We were all kind of picking up on the same people and that were coming in. And
it's almost like going to an exercise class versus just exercising by yourself. You know, yeah, if you're incredibly diligent, you can like get a really strong, flexible, sexy bod by yourself in your apartment doing really difficult exercises, but like it's a whole lot more fun to do fitness activities like with friends, jumping up and down to music, like with everyone's heart rates synchronizing, you know, with your goals being thrown up into the sweat and the mist in the air. So this is like maybe kind of like a chill workout for your soul.
All right, do we want to introduce anything more about your background?
Oh yeah,
Easy
just
to do
one
this?
other
Yeah.
thing to kind of help you really get it. Well, at least get it from like why we're the ones that are leading this and why we feel called to lead this exploration. I am a professional poet, and my specialty is precision of language and use of language to poetically co-create experiences, feelings, to catalyze new ideas. So I do this like consulting with companies. I do this as like performance in luxury weddings, corporate events, like these type of really elevated event experiences. But I felt dissatisfied being stuck in the very like entertainment industry that I've been put into because of where we're the most visible. And I want to be able to create more impactful inventions that break outside of the mold of people's expectation of me. And I have to do that in community. I can't do that. How can you break out of your own typecasting by yourself? It's possible.
Perfect.
Yeah, so let's begin, shall we? Oh, before we begin, you have to know Jonathan. Jonathan, come sit next to me to be on camera.
Yeah, this guy.
I met Jonathan out at like the coolest restaurant in town. He's sitting at the bar with this incredibly gorgeous woman. They're just like glowing with the fire of 1,000 suns. And like they were having a somewhat annoying service experience, or something that had gone wrong with your food or something, or maybe it was just like something was not served or served. There was some little glitch in the system. And I heard you guys discussing with the servers how you would like the glitch to be rectified. And I was like, these people are speaking my language. These people are speaking with the mechanics of human experience at heart and at hand. And so then we started the conversation with you. And of course, we found out that he and his beautiful wife are the co-founders of a barely just opened interdisciplinary art and wellness center called THAUT Wellness, where we are right now.
Absolutely, and so one, thank you all for coming into the space. This is exactly why we created the space. Both my partner and I, we come from both the scientific worlds of technical backgrounds. I was a computer science major. I worked in like the large banks of the corporate environment. But also kind of through that process, I started to kind of start asking questions. Why am I here? Why is all this, what's all this about? So I think I started going on this journey of self-discovery. And from there, just started opening up and moving away from what I call the matrix, and then moving into kind of knowledge of
The
self.
Ustrix.
Yeah. Knowledge of self started to, and what that came with, you started to realize you wanted to start living your mission. So what does that look like? And so this is part of that space, allowing people to identify where they are in their lives and where they want to go to, right? So we all kind of get stuck at times.
Let that sink in. What would it be like if you could identify where you are right now and had an idea of what direction you could go in to go somewhere you would like to be? Just that would be like better than everlasting life. That would be everlasting life, perhaps.
It's actually death, rebirth, and transformation. That's what's happening. You die 1,000 times kind of in our mind, so be renewed by the thinking of your mind. So as you start to think more and you think differently, your world and reality starts to change around you. People, I call it like you're on frequency. What frequency are you on?
Yes.
And if you're not tuned in, then people are not hearing you. You can talk, you can be right in front of you and speaking completely different languages. And at one time you were on the same frequency, but through thought and mind, you start to either drift apart, or you come back together. So it depends on the journey that you're meant to be.
Thank you so much. Thank you for hosting
Yeah.
us. Thank you for daring to live in such a radically, simply perfect exploration. Like, most people don't have such bravery and then can actually carve the path to that expression. You're like, just anything that we can do to support you in the journey and walk alongside of you, please, let's do that.
Honestly, for me, it's really just letting people know more about space, letting people know about there are people that are similar and going through experiences like they have. Everyone.
So if you know me, you're never not gonna know about THAUT wellness. All right, so let's, thank you for coming up here to introduce, thank you for enjoying. Everyone, make sure you're totally comfortable. I feel very called to begin.
Yes.
This experience takes about 35 minutes. It's very brief. We wanted to make it as kind of contained as possible for an introduction to the ideas. So about 30 minutes, and then we'll be able to have a little talk back discussion afterward. Sound good? All right. We're gonna just briefly look over these 5 choices from the worksheet with you. Don't fling your crystals around like me. During the invocation here, we are gonna be referencing these in slightly out of order because this is our first draft doing this, so just know that you're gonna have a moment to touch base with what you wrote down here. Jonathan, I see you didn't have time to finish, so we'll give you like 30 more seconds on it. And yeah, just have that in front of you, and the bottom part is in case if a weird idea comes up for you, or you think of a funny question and you're just like, oh my gosh, don't hesitate to, like, while we're doing the meditation, if you need to open your eyes and you want to write something down, I find that can be, sometimes you don't know if that's going to be distracting. Are you allowed to? Yes, you are allowed to write yourself a note. Because we're doing this meditation together, non sequitur type things can come up and they might be relevant to someone else afterwards. So if you're sitting there and you're like, whoa, I just got an image of like a little girl licking a blue ice cream cone, write that down, because someone might be like, my little sister passed away, her favorite ice cream was blue raspberry. You were picking up a little twinge of a frequency that was coming. That happens. So did I do a good job of just describing?
You did a great job.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. And for those online, we sent a link to a Canva document, and hopefully you can see it, where you can identify the guardian, an element, a sense, a crystal, and an ancestor that you can integrate into the meditation today.
Yes.
One quick note before we get into the meditation itself, we will be using the term ancestor throughout. You know, an ancestor can mean many things. First and foremost, someone who was known to us in life, who was passed on. We think of blood relatives. It could also be someone who's passed on that was just a friend, a lover, someone you knew about in history that you never met. They can be an ancestor. An ancestor can be an elemental spirit. It can be a plant. It can be an animal. Any deity, any number of things can serve as an ancestor to you. So we have a guest, someone who seems to be on hard times outside the door. So we'll pause.
They're trying to kill me. I say, I just need 30 minutes to say. I don't care.
Wait, he needs 30 minutes to meditate? Should I go check?
Yeah, just
Okay.
bear with us a moment for Jonathan to come back.
The interesting thing is they're dealing with a neighborhood issue right now. It's nothing to be concerned about for us right now, but it's this type of thing is exactly what can happen around this type of radical frequency shifting space. So if we just take a moment to collectively just attune ourselves to the presence of frequency and the fact that we already have enough agency to be sparking something in the air, like we're already sparking something really powerful. So please, all of you, take care of yourselves and just remember that if you get a little static shock later, that means you're sparking something good.
And I think it might be nice to just acknowledge, you know, the person out there who was having a moment, a struggle, it could have been psychosis. And just keep him in mind, and to send help and love to him energetically.
All right.
So I can complete just talking about the ancestor while Jonathan's away. Yes, an ancestor is a broad term. Anything that's loving, that's known to you, something that's not here in a body current. We also are inviting in only what's known as a well ancestor, an ancestor that's healthy and loving, someone that you know will want to help you in this work. If at any point during the meditation, your eyes are closed and you sense the presence of a relative that's not welcome here, or any other entity, you can just simply ask them in your mind, please step away. If at any point you feel unsafe during the meditation, feel free to get up, walk outside, grab a snack. You're not going to be disruptive. Like you said early on, it's important to be as just safe and gentle as you could possibly be.
All right. Should we go ahead and?
I think we should go ahead and start, and Jonathan could just
Yeah.
join in just fine.
So the first element that we want to attend to as we begin this invocation is our breath. And breath is life to me. Breath is it's just such a poetic force. As a poet, breath is, you know, it's giving your spirit a chance to exchange with the whole, right? Collective. Like you pull the air into you, something changes inside of you, and then you release a totally different type of air. It's just incredible. So we're gonna just take 3 deep breaths together. And a deep breath means to me to breathe first into your diaphragm, to feel then the expansion in your back, then to feel the front rib cage opening all the way up into imagining your lungs starting to lift your clavicles, and then holding that breath just until it's almost a little uncomfortable, and then you release. And release fully that breath. We're going to do 2 more. Inhaling into the diaphragm, the back, the front, the clavicle, holding it, and releasing it. Last one for this conscious breathing. Down into the diaphragm, behind you, in front of you, up into your clavicle. Holding, stretching, and releasing.
At this point, we want to ground into our space. And in this portion of grounding into the meditation, it's a good time to close your eyes, to let your body settle onto the surface that supports you from below. The sense that you identified on your worksheet, allow that to guide you into grounding, into feeling more deeply connected and held by the earth. You can feel dirt on your skin. You can taste a freshly grown vegetable. Hear the sounds of nature that feel grounding or alive. Smelling freshly turned earth or a fresh flower. Seeing brand new sprouts of plants, leaves open out onto branches.
You are now grounded, present, and receptive.
This next portion, we will clear and cleanse our individual spaces using the element that you have identified on your sheet. All of us bring with us today stresses and blockages, densities and dissonant energies. We will let those go here in this moment. And in selecting the element, fire can heat, transmute those dissonant energies. Water can rehydrate and cleanse you. Air invigorates and inspires. Earth comforts and fortifies. Feel into that element. Let it draw from your field anything that's holding you back from your highest, most well self.
Your field is cleared and cleansed.
Having cleared and cleansed your field, we will draw protection around each of you. This is where the guardian you identified at the start, call upon their presence or their energy and watch them provide this protection. Above your head begins to form a golden shield, like an egg, appropriately enough here on Easter Sunday. This golden shield slowly envelops you about a foot above and in front and behind and below you. The shield is translucent. You can see outside of it, but nothing that is dissonant or negative or dark can reach you through this shield. Only those frequencies and energies that are positive and light and loving can pass through. And likewise, those frequencies that emanate from within you, they can pass out through the shield if they are light and positive and loving, and nothing that you are still holding on to can pass outside. So ask this guardian to protect you in this way.
You are protected.
We've called upon our guardians, our elements, our senses, and all of those can work in union, in conjunction with one another to expand our heart centers. We are living in these bodies, these finite bodies, having an experience on earth, but we also are open to the messages and the frequencies of the spirit world, that which is infinite. And it is through our heart centers that we integrate these two streams. We are finite, mortal beings with access to an infinite, immortal realm.
How do we access that infinite immortal realm?
We'll open the crown and invite them in here in a moment. We will picture at the center of your heart a glowing green orb. Watch that orb brighten and expand, filling first your chest cavity. And the green light fills your whole body, expanding further to encompass your entire protective field. Expand that glowing green light further outside your field to where it intersects with those of the people around you. Let us share the love we have for ourselves with one another.
We are cleared cleansed, protected, and loved together. And we are almost ready to welcome our ancestors in. So if you chose a crystal that you're holding on to or you have in your mind's eye, you used your intuition to choose that crystal when you came in today. You did not know what that was going to be for, or maybe you didn't even know why you were drawn to it, but that crystal is just a little battery that you get to use to focus and amplify your energy for this meditation. So whatever wavelength crystal you chose, that's just exactly the wavelength that you needed today.
Before we invite in our ancestors and speak their names, just as we grounded and were held and comforted by the Earth's energy, we will open up to the spirit realm by activating our crowns. Imagine above your head a portal slowly spiraling open. And through this portal pours brilliant white light. And in this light and through this portal, we access the loving, supportive, guiding energy from the spirit realm, entering your body, meeting in your heart. Before we invoke and invite the ancestors, let us all now, at the count of 3, speak the name of the ancestor that we are inviting today. 1, 2, 3.
Buckminster Fuller. Ancestors, angels, ascended teachers, greetings. Bless this encounter, totally unique in this moment, precious in its rarity. We come empty-handed, ready to receive what you offer. In the divine dream of the universe, we do not choose our identity, but we do choose to rise to the roles we are called to play. Our gifts, our desires, our dreams, all are placed at the altar of collective healing. Thank you. We are ready.
As our ancestors join us, those that we've invited, those who may just appear on their own, I ask that you take a moment to just commune with their energy. Don't feel rushed into communicating or receiving anything. Just feel their loving presence. Some of you who do this work may have a method and a familiarity, but if not, that's totally okay. You can simply visualize this ancestor, remember how they sounded and smelled, what loving things they used to say to you, what you would want to say to them now. And as you spend time with them, be aware of any images or symbols that appear, any smells, sensations in the body, anything at all, and take note of it, write it down if you need to.
Greetings, ancestor. Thank you for meeting me in this sacred place. Forgive me for any miscommunication. My highest intent is to honor you and hear you and fulfill our lineage's dreams and desires, leaving our line more healed, cleared, and integrated than before. Our wills are united throughout time, space, and dimension. You live on through me as I will live on in those who remember and honor me. The blessings you share with me today will be honored. I'm so glad you're back. I'm gonna restart this poem for you. Are you able to sit?
Yes.
Okay, great. No need to apologize. Greetings, ancestor. Thank you for meeting me in this sacred place. Forgive me for any miscommunication. My highest intent is to honor you and hear you and fulfill our lineage's dreams and desires, leaving our line more healed, cleared, and integrated than before. Our wills are united throughout time, space, and dimension. You live on through me, as I will live on in those who remember and honor me. The blessings you share with me today will be honored and used in service of the highest collective good. Burdens you make me aware of will be gently set down and released.
So we will honor several minutes of silence to give each of us a chance to commune and feel the loving presence of our ancestors.
One wound healed in one is many wounds healed in many. The wounded healer nurses the infinite back to health. We acknowledge and hold each other's wounds, fears, challenges, and pain, fueled by the knowing that all healing is done in community. And our community spans far beyond our comprehension. Our collective grief alchemizes into medicine. Our collective effort builds our creative capacity. And our heart's expansion allows us to hold the infinite unknown. Our individual burdens become blessings for the whole community.
What that last ancestral poem invoked was a request, a prayer for our ancestors present here with us to harmonize their energies for the collective benefit. Just as they individually can bestow their blessings and love and support on us, they too can integrate those blessings, combine them to help all of us in this space together today, so that we may all benefit, not only ourselves, our group, but also anyone that we meet in our life outside of this place. Let us receive that collective blessing. As we spend these last few moments with our ancestors, our guardians, elements, senses, crystals, before they depart, let us give them our thanks.
Ancestors, angels, ascended teachers, gratitude. Thank you for guiding us safely through the upward spiral of time, reaching as far backward and forward as life itself. Our work is play. Our love is pure. Our desires are divinely inspired. Let the highest common good be fulfilled by our effort, and show us how to follow the way with ever more devotion and clarity. We surrender ourselves in service to love, with mercy for all whom we meet on the path.
As we watch our ancestors depart, we can begin to return to this space, return to our physical bodies. You may bring subtle movement to your hands, to your feet, become aware of the regular cadence of your breath. And when it is good and comfortable for you, you may open your eyes.
You know what I was thinking we should do? When whoever, if anyone wants to share, they can come and sit with us up here so they can be on the screen if they want to, but they don't have to. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So just as you're kind of becoming aware again, hopefully everyone's feeling good. You can feel free to pop up and grab a beverage or a little snack. I know I get really hungry after intensive group exercises like this, so we would love to hear any reflection from you. And if you want to be on camera, this will go up on YouTube, you know, so if you don't want to be on camera, you don't have to. But if you do, we can make a little sweet seat for you and you can sit with us and share if you saw anything, if you felt anything, just anything at all, including constructive feedback. You know, if you're like, hey, this really sucks, you should scrap it, you know, but it has to be given in good faith, you know. So you know, live jazz band would make it better, whatever, anything like that. Your contributions are really, really welcome.
And I just want to say before anyone volunteers, like Jonathan, just, I know you were dealing with probably a fraught situation. And on a normal day, if you're sitting here doing nothing else, it would be energetically like depleting perhaps and alarming for you. And then to know that you were hosting and you were leaving and coming back in added to your stress. And I just like everything that happened was okay and that needed to happen. And it's, you may have some reflections on things that came up, you came back or you left. I just want to let you know that it's all okay.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Honestly, for me, it's, nothing's an accident. I think everything happens for a reason. There's always a deeper meaning. So that person came up looking for help. I think he was going through some mental issues. But what he said to me forever resonated in my mind. And it was like, hey, 30 minutes of solitude. That's what he asked for. And then there was someone behind him. I was like, what is this? I said, let's keep this going where it's at. Let's move that situation to another area and understand it. But it seemed like just a call, like it seemed mental issues. And so his family was right behind looking for it. It was just timing of it. And I was like, that's interesting that happened at this time. So I'm just processing all of the.
Did you happen to get the information of the family to keep in touch?
I did not, but they work at the exchange, so I could.
Yeah, let's like keep in touch with them, because maybe
Yeah.
they're called to join this path.
It looked familiar, so. Why did I meet him? Well, what's the, maybe it's supposed to help him or. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna follow that road and see.
Perfect. Thank you. Were there any reflections that anyone else wanted to share, any images that came up or messages that you received, any questions that you had?
To be honest, I was not concentrating today, and my mind is all over places, so.
Did you feel your mind calm down a little bit,
Yeah.
or maybe explore some different pathways?
Maybe a little bit when I came here, I felt I was more, what do you call it? I don't know, more stiff. Stuff, maybe the breathing helped a little bit, and then relax me,
Good, good.
and I think, yeah.
Good, that's great. I mean, when you're in a very activated, distracted state of mind, it is difficult to make a really profound
Correct.
you're not gonna like get a vision but you are doing work to reduce your neurological and like your energetic stress. So you are still doing good work for yourself. So don't feel like if you didn't have some like your grandma came and said, the lotto number is 36943, just because that didn't happen doesn't mean you're not doing something.
That's right. I was so confused that when you asked to open the portal, I didn't know who I want to invite.
Right.
So I was there, so it was hard for me to focus on the rest of the other stuff.
And I think that's feedback for us, that, and I think we've said this before, this is the 4th month we've done this. We started doing this in October last year, only in person, but this series just started in January. So it's new for us to work with groups. And in the past, we've said, you may not know anyone that you want to invite, just remain open. So that's a good thing for us to be able to say as well, so that you're not stuck in a place, oh, who should I invite? You could say, oh, I could just lay here and experience it and see what comes up. So that's good feedback for us.
Here's what I would say. I think it's actually great, the types of questions, they were thought-provoking questions that you normally don't think about. And so now it sends you on a path. You may think of it later on, or it may come back into your mind, and then that may bring up a memory of an ancestor or someone, or so I think it's great to continue to ask more soul provocative spiritual questions that will drive people to think.
Yeah, that's great. That's
Great.
great. Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
feedback, love that.
Yeah, that is wonderful.
One more question, I mean, this might sound stupid, but why would you want to invite someone here, their presence?
That's not a stupid question at all. I think that's a massively profound and important question. You can speak too, I'm just, as an initial response. If you ask yourself that question, what's like the intuitive answer? Why would you if you had the opportunity to bring someone into the room for just a moment, would that be any good to you? Would that be interesting to you? Would it be helpful? Would it be helpful to them? What do you think?
I don't know, I mean, I think, like you said, everything happens for a reason and stuff, right? When they decide to leave, it's okay. So I think we need to deal with the situation where we are at and what we have with it, instead of trying to get their presence and work with it and stuff. I feel that way.
So you feel there's importance in grieving their loss and then, but
Yeah.
letting that go, not hold on to their
Yeah.
spirit,
Letting
because it may
go.
hold you back if you
Yeah.
think of, okay.
I feel letting go is the most important thing someone can love, so which can help you grow more, or, so I don't know, maybe something like that.
In the reflection I can provide on that is that I agree with you that we need to be able to move on,
Yeah.
and let it go. But for me, it's you're letting go of their physical presence in your life, someone that you can touch and see and feel, but to know that their presence lives on in some other way. So in the work that I do in communicating with deceased relatives, loved ones of people, it's an incredibly loving, energetically beautiful experience when, you know, even if you're not the one feeling it or communicating, like you can bring through information that's known only to you. It's not known to the medium or something, and like, oh my gosh, there's somehow they're still out there. And to some people who wonder what happened to them, you know, people may believe in heaven and hell. They may know a relative who had a really difficult life, who suffered a lot. Are they still suffering? What's it like beyond? And so it can help answer
Or
questions like that.
a terrible relationship with their ancestry and places they've come from, you know, people that don't know their biological parents, or their biological parents renounced them, or they have a history of being a colonized lineage or a colonizing lineage, and that's a wound in the lineage. There's all these reasons why it can be helpful from a purely intellectual exercise perspective to acknowledge the ones that came before us, because they all had something to do with how we ended up here in this moment. And most people, you could be different. You have a lot going for you. Most people have something about their life that bothers them or worries them, and they, you know, spend a lot of their time and money and effort to try to fix themselves. And our theory is that by actually just healing our own relationship with the past, we can actually just feel better now, like, and then pave a way to a higher common denominator of our whole society. That the technological advancements that we've been coming up with, for instance, are wonderful, incredible, mesmerizing things, but we believe they're kind of being used to a lower common denominator than what they could be used for. Like, why do we create things that are addictive, for instance? We don't have to do that. We can create incredible things that aren't addictive. So, as an example, and that's not saying that your input is not incredibly valid. That's just another thought comparison.
Yeah, does anyone have any other reflections on, because you may have a relationship to an ancestor and a practice that, you know, could be shared for the group.
So for me, there's a quote, I love quotes because there's a lot of wisdom in quotes.
Be on camera when you talk. It's just want to give you this spot right here, because
Oh, good night. You just heard it, yeah.
make it like that 70s show.
They'll see the line a little bit. For me, it's mentioned quotes because there's a lot of wisdom in quotes, and the reason I like quotes is because some of them take lifetimes and generations to come up with them. Like you don't just have something today and you come up with a quote. You have to live life and experience things. And so the quote that comes to mind for me is, you inherit the confidence of your ancestors. And so if you know who you are, you're self-aware, or as you go down this journey of wanting to understand who you are more, you will naturally want to ask, who came before me? What did I come from? What were their accomplishments? What did they deal with? Now, what am I supposed to do? I continue on. So that's just one perspective.
Perfect,
Who
thank
else
you.
wants to jump in? Anyone else wanna jump in?
I had something that I kind of thought about during, I guess I kind of, at first I was thinking about my grandpa who he passed away about a year ago. And I was thinking about how much like he loved us and everything. But then I also got to kind of thinking about how he lived his life by like his own code. He was very like conservative and stuff. And like I kind of feel like I kind of like you're saying, you know, with you inherit the confidence of them and stuff. I feel like that his life code is not my life code, and I need to really figure out what my like life code is that I need to live by, you know, take what I liked from his life code, but kind of yeah, I don't know, really figure out what it is that I want. That's my story, you know.
Double-edged sword. Confidence, you also inherit the shame or the
Yeah.
guilt or some of those aspects as well. So
Well, that we bring up a point, so I've been taking a ancestral lineage healing course through a man named Daniel Four. Ancestral Medicine is the name of his organization. They draw upon all these different traditions throughout the world in honoring your ancestors and healing your lineages and blessings and burdens. So she integrated that into her poetry. We all carry with us blessings from our ancestors, and we also carry burdens that are passed on. And often the burdens are really the absence of the blessing. So where you find a
Or the
burden or the
reactivity
reactivity,
to the absence of the
Yeah.
blessing.
and so by sometimes you're identifying your burdens can be your pathway to your blessing, or your blessings can be the pathway to releasing those burdens. So
You,
yes,
like,
yeah,
you notice them, but you don't identify with them. That's the thing, is like, we've started noticing this thing where we're able to unpack a lot of different societal issues from this lens. And we've realized like one of the things that is such a problem in a lot of the more progressive movements that we're aware of. And what's funny is the regressive movements, the like go back to the old way movements, have the same problem too. It's just on both sides, that going one step of identifying a problem is incredibly important to evolve the society. But what we do is then we over identify with that problem and think that problem is us or is them. And then we can't solve it anymore. And we get stuck in this like hyper reactivity space instead of like anything productive.
and so yeah, if you start with yourself and recognizing that within yourself, within your lineage, it can help you identify with the traits in others that keep us from being.
I'm so
Closer
curious if
together.
you'd like to share anything. Would you like to share?
Oh, I was so exhausted from
Okay.
the day that I ended up just having more of like visuals. Like when the portal was opening up, well, at first.
Do you want to be on
before-
camera or no?
I'm.
Okay.
But thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure you had the
Yeah,
chance.
thank you. I had, going, came in for a second, got to see them. So that was
That's
interesting. It was great. And then, oh, now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, I wasn't that close with him, but I had like a really bonding moment with him on an Easter, like in my class. So I'm like, I just did it on Easter.
Oh, wonderful.
So that's cool. And then when the portal was opening, I saw like a ball, like a stone or what have you, and it was spinning, and then it kind of like everything started to spin around it, and it just became very much almost like turned into a noddle shape. You know? Yeah, it was really beautiful. And then I saw some like bright colored face kind of like bled, which I think was inspired by this.
Oh, yeah.
Because they had similar colors, and I was like, oh, that's great. But I was just enjoying the ride.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's, I didn't really, the ancestor I wrote down, I don't have a lot of information on, and so I was just open to see what came through.
Yeah. And it could be even just doing this exercise kind of primes that ancestor to come through later.
Yeah, some people have said that. They'll say like, oh, a week later, or even up to 2 weeks later, they'll have a really surprising little glimmer of wisdom or ancestral linkage that's revealed, so.
Oh, they'll come in
Keep
their
your eyes
dream,
peeled
like
for
maybe you'll
something
dream
that-
about that person.
They won't like jump in front of your car while you're driving. All right, so did everyone get a chance to share? Did you want to share anything else? Everyone feel like they got to share what they want? Okay, wonderful. Oh wait, but actually in online, did any of you want to share? If you want to put anything in the comments on this video, if you want to ask us questions, we would love to hear how this experience is for you. And people that are viewing live right now, if you want to say anything, feel free to pipe up. We would love to witness you.
Jen, who had to leave, just did a thank you and just shared really blessings to everyone here. And so that's what Jen had to say.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much for being in person when that's accessible to you. That is like, we get so charged
Yeah.
up from getting to share space like this. So coming out on Easter Sunday, 420, for those who I know what that means, you know, like it's really means a lot to come out like and try something new. Like we understand it's literally like we're making up something totally new, and it's like, why should anyone care? But you're here. So yeah.
Well, thank you all so much, very much.
And thank you for tuning in online.
There are two people online. One